Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students of Library and Information Sciences program BS semester 4. Dr. Sumaira Kamal is here to teach you the course of English 4, that is seminar based oral communication skills. Today the date is 25th of November 2020 and the day is Wednesday. Today we are formally going to start our sessions for this course. You can see that as the title shows, seminar based oral communication skills. For that we must know before that what is communication and what do we mean by oral communication, and what is meant by seminar, means what kind of communication is involved in seminars like that. So first of all, it is important to discuss what is communication. I hope that you do have some idea about it, that what do we mean by communication. Communication is actually the exchange of ideas, thoughts, feelings, emotions, information, whatever, between any two entities. This is called communication. But it is not necessary that the entities who are involved in this communication, they are just two. They can be more than two also. But we must have means two entities, more than two entities, or at least two entities for communication to occur, because communication is actually two-way process. It is a kind of we can say a phenomena, a kind of activity between more than one person. So communication is actually the exchange of ideas, thoughts, feelings, emotions, knowledge, information, anything between any two people. So first of all, as I told you that it contains two entities. The first one is obviously the source who is going to send the information. That source is called the sender of the message, and the information, the idea, the thought, the feeling, the content which is going to be shared, that is called message. So the first one you see is the sender, and and that sender is going to send a message, an information, an idea, a thought, an opinion, anything, to some other entity, that is receiver. So we got these three components. The first component is sender, the second is message. The sender is going to send a message to some receiver. So the entity who is going to receive the message, who is going to receive the information, idea, opinion, whatever, that is called receiver. In turn, when receiver receives the message, the information, the idea which is has been sent by the sender, so that receiver then in turn he gives some feedback to the sender. So he has some response. He has some response to the message which he or she has received. Fine. Now, so these are the four basic components of communication: the sender, the message, the receiver, and feedback. So I told you that these are the basic components of communication. You might question that there is sometimes there is the receiver is far off from the sender. For example, if the sender has written a book and the receiver is just going to read the message of the sender, for example, a book by Shakespeare, so how would he be giving feedback to the sender? Actually, feedback isn't essentially created for the purpose of sender only. Feedback means that that can be either some verbal response. It can either be some non-verbal response, that or it can just be acknowledging the message, that he has received the message and he has understood it, and that is also a kind of feedback on the part of the receiver. So these are the four basic components, and then we move towards the message. How is message delivered, and through which channel it can be delivered. So message it can be delivered, can be sent through some medium, and that medium, you can see on the screen that there is a star on the medium. So medium is very much important. Message or information can be sent either through written medium, or it can be sent through oral medium. If the sender uses the medium that is written medium, or it can also be sent through non-verbal medium, means through body language, facial expressions like that. So medium can be of three kinds. It can either be non-verbal, it can be either written or oral. So you can kinds of communication, if you see, medium is based medium decides what kind of communication you are going to choose. In the second flow chart, the first flow chart is that actually disseminates the idea of communication process, that how does communication occurs, and how what parts or what elements or what components are involved in the process of communication. The second flow chart, that is underneath the first flow chart, that depicts kinds of communication. So it depends upon the medium which the sender chooses for the sharing of his or her message, that decides what kind of communication is going to take place. If he decides to choose the verbal medium, so his communication can either be oral or written. And if he oral or written, in oral, you can see the sender will speak. In oral medium, he will speak, the sender, the source will speak. He will create his message in the form of words, spoken oral words, which can be heard or listened by the receiver. And so he will be speaking. And if he chooses to use the written medium for the delivery of his or her message, he will write something. So he needs to have the writing skills, and that writing will be received by the sender in the form of some text, and the receiver will be reading his text, whatever he has written. And further, moving further on, the same oral and written medium um, can be used either formally or informally. Means that depends upon the context of communication, that depends upon the situation in which the communication is going to take place, whether it is formal or informal. Formal communication can be either formal letters, for example, letters to editors of newspapers, letters to some officials in your workplace, letters to your letters, or I mean to say application letters to your administrative staff in the university, to your head of department, to your teacher, applications to vice chancellor, like that. So all of such kind of communication will be formal. It will be written, but it will be formal. And the other examples of formal communications are the articles in the magazines, the science articles, we can say the research articles. They are obviously formal, they are formally written, and they are also formal written communication. The examples of informal written communication might be the jokes, they might be some letters to your friends, they might be obviously informal, and they can be your text messages on the phone and to your friends, and they can either be emails to your friends. But if you do emails to your teachers, obviously I told you that depends upon the context. If context is formal, your communication will also be formal. And if your context is informal, means that is friendly, that is not official, that is not so much I mean to say that reserved, then you can use your informal style of communication. So it depends upon the style of communication. If you choose to do verbal communication, it can either be oral or written, and it is your choice. And it depends upon the context of the communication, that either you choose formal or informal medium of communication. Fine. When we move towards the oral communication, oral communication is actually when the sender is going to speak. He or she is delivering his or her message, or sending her message, his or her message in the form of speech. Sender, you can see when we move towards sender can speak a message. So if speaking is done in formal settings, in formal situation, in formal context, obviously your speech, your talk, your conversation, whatever you are speaking, that should be formal. And formal the examples of formal lectures, obviously classroom is formal. In classroom, obviously you need to be formal in your conversation when the teacher is in. When the teacher is not there, you are just alone in your classroom with your classmates, with your friends, obviously your communication can be informal. Then your messages to your friends can be informal. But in the presence of the teacher, when the lecture is on and the discussion obviously is on, you have to be formal in your conversation, in your message. And communication doesn't mean that it should be a complete whole. Communication can occur even in a single, with a single word, with a single sentence. So communication means communication, either a single word, two word, four word, one sentence, paragraph, or whole speech or presentation. It is communication, it is still communication. And then the examples of other formal communications are the speeches, the official speeches, and the news reports, like that. If you are going to deliver news reports, then obviously they should be formal. And examples of informal communication, I told you, when we speak with our family, with our friends, and in casual settings, even with teachers, in casual settings, when we are on the trip. So obviously decency should be there, obedience should be there, norms of respect should be there. But you can choose to be informal in your talk. Informal means decent but informal. But the level of it depends upon the level of formality. Sometimes you have to be semi formal, sometimes you need to be informal. Informal can also be good for you, and sometimes you need to be semi formal. When the participants to whom you are speaking, the receivers of the message, are from the discipline of some formal, I mean to say, formal circumstances. For example, your teachers, you have to be you can be semi formal with them. When you are on the trip, when you are just having some get together, like that, so you can be a little bit informal with them. So medium can either be verbal, or it can be non-verbal. If it is verbal medium, you choose to adopt verbal medium, that is oral and written communication you can choose. And if you choose to adopt non-verbal medium, then you can use sign language. You can and obviously these, we can say that these are actually non-verbal communication is also an essential part and add up to verbal communication. If we add up non-verbal communication along with the verbal communication, it makes your communication more effective, it makes your message more effectively received, easily and more easily and effectively received. Nonverbal communication involves sign language, eye contact, how you build and develop an eye contact with the receiver of the message. And nonverbal communication is obviously uh, done, and it is used and utilized in oral communication, in face-to-face communication. When your audience are in front of you, you have to use your nonverbal communication along with the verbal communication to enhance the meaning in your message or in your conversation. So sign language can be there, eye contact can be there, body language matters when you are communicating to other people. Your body language matters, and your facial expressions are also very important when you are talking to other people. So when you are creating some message, you are sharing some information, you are exchanging some thoughts and ideas with the audience, you have to consider, you have to keep in mind that you have to adopt verbal and non-verbal communication uh, as per your need, as per your requirement, as per requirement of the audience, as per requirement of setting, situation, context. So each and everything is taking part when you are communicating. So all of the things are very important. Next is after medium, there is the channel of message too. You have chosen a medium. For example, you want to communicate orally, then you have to choose channel also. Either you are going to talk face to face with your audience, or you are going to talk on the phone, or you are going to deliver an online message to them through WhatsApp, on social media, whatever. So you can use such kind of electronic devices. This is what you will do. That you have to choose the channel also. Channel is also needed. Obviously, after choosing a medium, channel of communication is also required. That is also needed. Electronics, when you are going to use written medium, you will choose either print medium, or you will choose some electronically written message, for example email, WhatsApp text message, or you can choose to write in some newspaper, as you can choose to write some articles in research journals, whatever. So it depends. Or you can just write a book, you can write in some magazine, you can write in the form of letters, applications, whatever. It is your choice. So electronic mediums as well as print mediums can be used, or handwritten medium can be used for creating your message. So these are actually the components of communication. You can see in the first flow chart, you can see in the diagram, in figure communication process, you can see that if sender is going to produce a message in the form of oral message, then it means in the form of speech. So we call it that he must be skilled in speaking skills. If he want to produce a message in writing, he must be skilled in writing skills. So as he is going to produce a message, so he is going to be the producer of the message. The sender is going to be producer of the message in the form of speaking and in the form of writing. We call these skills, speaking skills and writing skills, as production skills or productive skills. And speaking skills are usually equated with the oral communication skills. And then when we move towards the receiver, if receiver is going to receive a message in the form of an audio, or he's going to listen to the sounds produced by the sender, then he must be skilled in listening skills. And if he is going to read a text produced by the sender, he must be skilled in reading skills. So if on the part of the receiver, two skills are required, either listening skills or reading skills, and these are called receptive skills. The skills which are required by the receiver, they are called receptive skills. Listening skills and reading skills, they are the receptive skills, and speaking skills and writing skills, they are the productive skills. Fine. So these are the actually 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 components of communication. You can see sender, the first one is sender, the second one is receiver, the message, third component, fourth one is feedback, and then there is medium, fifth component, and sixth component is the channel of communication. And feedback is really very important. I told you that feedback doesn't essentially mean that you are going to write down in front for the sender after reading his message, or to speak to him after listening to his message. It is not essential. If you have just understood the message, communication is just complete. You're just yes, such kind of even nodding your head positively that you have understood whatever has been delivered to you, that is also a kind of feedback. So feedback is also non-verbal, verbal. And sometimes you just read a book, for example, by some literary figure who is no longer here in this world, still his communication is successful because you have understood something, you have analyzed the message which he has delivered, and you have understood it, and you will apply that message to your obviously everyday situations in everyday life. You will have a better understanding of life, obviously. So this is also a kind of feedback which you are going to give. And for example, you have just read a joke written in some magazine. You know the name of that writer who just produced that, created that joke, but you are not personally talking to him. You will just laugh, you will just get entertained. And this was the purpose of the sender, to make you entertain, to give you entertainment. So his purpose is successful in being able to entertain you, in giving you a good mood. So this communication is successful. Fine. As your course is which we are just going to deal with, that is seminar based oral communication skills, so you must be aware that this course is going to lead you towards the skills, the strategies, the tips, the guides which can make you a better communicator orally. Means and you should be you should be proficient in your communication, in communication to produce oral messages to people. And that not only the simple oral messages, rather particularly it is about seminar based oral communication. And seminars are obviously, they are formal. Seminars are formal presentations. They can be business presentations, they can be research presentations. Seminar is actually an event in which some knowledge is shared by some knowledgeful persons. So if in seminars you have to deliver presentations about some particular topics, and the audience who are sitting over there, they are the experts in the same field. They have some knowledge in the same field, or they have just sit there in order to receive knowledge about that particular field which you are going to deliver a message about. Seminar based oral communication skills, for that you need to be very much focused upon presentations. You need to be very much focused upon speeches. Seminars are actually the events in which presentations and speeches are held on particular topics. Fine. So we must be aware of the definitions of presentation and speech. Here I've got some definition for you. The terms speech and presentation are often used interchangeably. Interchangeably means we usually do not differentiate between speech and presentation. For our purposes, it is useful to understand the difference, but actually it is useful to understand the difference if we want to be proficient speakers in formal settings. The first one is presentation. A presentation is a type of speech. Fine. Typically, it is actually one type of speech. Speeches can be of different types. Presentation is actually a one type of speech. Typically, when we think of a speech, we think of a dedication speech, a political speech, a speech of tribute, or some similar event that is more public in nature than a presentation would be. So, speeches are actually general. They are about general topics, general phenomena, and they generally can talk about human emotions. Means anything which is considered and understood and taken by any human being in the world, or in some country, or on national or international level. So a dedication speech can be, for example, a speech on patriotism. It can be a political speech for in favor of some political party. A speech of tribute means we have just paid tribute to our leaders of or our ancestors. For example, in the subcontinent, when how they made sacrifices for the creation of Pakistan, we can talk about we can just made or deliver a speech of tribute to our ancestors, like our leaders, our national leaders, or some similar event that is more public. So speeches are actually a kind of public that can be national public or international level public on humanitarian grounds. So speeches are such kind of things which are which entertain or which cater to the mental, we can say the mental predisposition of the whole community, whether on national level or international level or even in social classes. So in nature, then a presentation would be, rather a presentation is just something particular that is meant for some particular purposes. Presentations are speeches that are usually given in a business, technical, professional or scientific environment. So it is somewhat formal. Presentation is even somewhat more formal. It is more particular, more specific about some environment. Mostly presentations are delivered in educational settings, business settings, technical settings, professional settings or scientific environments. The audience is likely to be more specialized than those attending a typical speech event. So a typical speech event is attended by, the audience in a speech event can be any layman from different fields. They are not specialized in some particular field, but for presentations the audience are specialized in particular field. For example, you yourself have been delivering presentations in your last 3 semesters in your BS program. Those presentations are assigned by your teachers on some particular topics which is related to their own course, which they are taking or delivering lectures on. So the students obviously are your audience, your classmates, your class fellows who are from your same field. So presentations are particular and speeches are general. Now I would like you people to just think about how important communication is, and particularly how important oral communication skills are. And thirdly, uh, why is communication important for you people as students, and why is this particular course, seminar based oral communication skills, is important for you as students of library and information sciences. So why has this course been planned and incorporated and added into your curriculum and syllabus? So this is, I can understand that you are able to pick out the points that why is this important for you. So this course is very much important for you. I would like you people to just give you yourself in only 2 minutes to just think about why is this course important. Either it is important for you or not. Obviously it is important. Then why and how is it important for you, and how it can be useful for you in future when you have just ended up with your career here as student and you are going to enter into your professional line. So give yourself 2-3 minutes and try to think about it. Next, you are supposed to read this chapter from book 1, which I have suggested for you people, and I have going to share this book with you also. And this is the first chapter of the book, and it says personal development speaking to an audience. Personal development speaking to an audience. Obviously, first of all, you have to be personally strong. You have to have some personally strong personality. You have to develop yourself as person in order to speak in front of a large audience. And you are supposed to just read this chapter, and you will be able to understand that why is this course important for you. And it's really very simply written. But before you read this chapter, I would like you people to give you 2-3 minutes yourself and write down or sort out the things which you feel that they are important for you, and this course will be helpful in order to cater those needs as students of library and information sciences department. Next, next now when you have just read the chapter about the personality development before speaking in front of an audience, and when you have just thought about and recalled and realized the importance of oral communication skills for you as students of library and information sciences, I would like you people to evaluate yourself. Before starting up with this course, before making yourself proficient in proficient in oral communication skills, I would like you people to evaluate yourself, uh, how far a good speaker you are. Check the category that best describes you as a speaker. they are there are four categories of speakers. The first one is lower. The lowest category of is of avoider. An avoider does everything possible to escape from having to get in front of an audience. An avoider is a person who doesn't like to present himself in front of an audience. He is always escaping such situations. In some cases, avoiders may seek careers that do not involve making presentations. So, avoiders are the people who choose those careers for themselves in which they are not required to come in front of the audience, and they are not required to involve in making presentations. So this is the lowest category of oral communication skills. The second category is resistor. A resistor is the person who resists speaking, but he actually does. So a resistor has fear when asked to speak. When the person resistor is asked to make some presentation, deliver some presentation, obviously he resists. This fear may be strong. Resistors may not be able to avoid speaking as part of their job, but they never encourage it. When they do speak, they do so with great reluctance and considerable pain. Obviously, as they resist such events of making presentations, they do it with the low heart. They have to take much pains for that, and they have great reluctance to make presentations. So they do make, but they make with much difficulty. And acceptor, then comes the next category, a better one, that is acceptor. The acceptor will give presentations as part of the job, but doesn't seek those opportunities. If the acceptor is a person who, whenever he is asked to deliver presentations, he will deliver, but he himself will never seek the opportunities of making presentations. He can just accept the offer or the requirement of making a presentation. Acceptors occasionally give a presentation and feel as though they did a good job. They even find that once in a while they are quite persuasive and enjoy speaking in front of a group. Acceptors are the people, they themselves do not take up the courage, they muster up the courage to deliver presentations. Rather, they just they are always waiting for the they are always just in a wait. If someone will ask them to present, then they will present. Otherwise, they themselves do not offer to make a presentation themselves. But when they make the presentations, they deliver the presentations, they do good. They do a good job, and they enjoy speaking in front of the audience. The maximum skilled category is of that of speaker. Seeker. A seeker means who seeks for the opportunities to present. A seeker looks for opportunities to speak. The seeker understands that anxiety can be a stimulant which fuels enthusiasm during a presentation. Seekers work at building their professional communication skills and self-confidence by speaking often. So they are the people who themselves have sought opportunities for them to speak. So they are always ready to speak, and they are ready to deliver presentations. They know that anxiety is always there whenever there is some presentation to be delivered in front of a large audience. Though they know it very well that anxiety is there, they do feel anxiety, but they know that this anxiety is just actually a stimulant in order to go ahead. And they just enjoy their presentations, and they are ready to uh, take challenges of large audience. So these are the four categories, and I would like you people to begin this course by evaluating yourself first, that what in which category you are. And no need to worry if even if you stand on at the lowest category. It's okay, no problem, because this is actually human nature. And We can just make things better, and but we cannot actually fight with the nature, but it is better if you make yourself better in your presentation skills, because they are needed, because you are going to do a master's finally, and at the end of your obviously academic career, you have to go into your professional life. You need to be skilled in presentation skills. But even if you are an avoider, in the category of avoider, resistor, or acceptor, you can do better. Fine. Next, I would like you to just have an activity also. There is an activity for you people, in order to which will help you to assess yourself. That this activity will through this activity you can assess your current presentation skills. You can assess your current presentation skills, and in it you can see that there are some statements, and you have to never always, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks for against each statement. And for example, there is first statement: I thoroughly analyze my audience. That making before making presentations, I analyze my audience. I am first of all, I just consider in front of whom I am going to speak, in front of whom I am going to deliver my presentations. If you really analyze your audience practically, as you have been making presentations in these semesters, and perhaps you have also delivered presentations before your before the start of your BS program. So what have you been practically doing? What have you been practically doing? If you have been analyzing to a great extent, then you will be ticking 5. You will tick or circle 5. And then if you are at the lowest level of this, then you will circle 1. Or if you are in the middle, you can choose 3, 4, whatever. In the same way, you will obviously mark or encircle the numbers against each statements. And at the end, it contains 19 statements. At the end, you will count your scores, and below is given the key. That is, if you scored between 80 to 95, you are an accomplished speaker who simply needs to maintain basic skills through practice. If your total score was between 60 to 80, you have the potential to become a highly effective presenter. If your score was between 40 and 60, this book can help you significantly. Obviously, the activities which we'll be doing in this course will be helpful for you significantly. If you scored between 30 and 40, you should show dramatic improvement with practice. Obviously, you have to be very much serious then if your score is below between 30 and 40. But there isn't and nothing is just hopeless. It's all hopeful. We can have strategies, skills, tips, techniques that can help you to make yourself better in your oral communication skills. If your total score was below 30, roll up your sleeves and begin. It may not be easy, but you can make excellent progress if you try. At the conclusion of this program, take this evaluation again and compare your course. You should be pleased with the progress you have made. So, before beginning this course, you are going to analyze yourself, and make or keep record of the score which you have just scored through this activity right now. And at the end of this course, when you have just taken this course, at the end, I would also ask you again to encircle this questionnaire again, and grade your scores, and then compare your this pre-score score and post score. Means the scores which you have had at this current time, before beginning of this course, seminar based oral communication skills, and at the end of this course, that is seminar based oral communication skills. So this is all about this. I would be sharing one book with you, or I can also share this book which has activities for you. You are supposed to read chapter number 1 from suggested book 1. That is very important. That tells us why is oral communication important for you as students. Fine. In the coming lecture, we will again be discussing some things, tips, some scenarios about presentation skills. Today this was just an introductory lecture, that what is communication, what is oral communication, what is formal informal communication, what do we mean by seminar based communication, why is communication important, what is the process of communication, what components of communication are involved, and what are the kinds of communication: verbal, non-verbal, oral, written, whatever. So, and we have discussed the difference between presentation and speeches, and we have tried to evaluate ourselves, assess our skills as presentation maker, at which level we are currently now as students. And fine, see you later, inshallah. And I would like you people to share your scores with me. All of you must share your scores, your actual scores, practical ones. You should share the scores after completing this activity. You must share your scores with me. Okay, you can just send me personal messages if you like. If you do not want your scores to be disclosed to all of the students, obviously it's better that you should just drop a personal message on my WhatsApp group.